There's an electric SUV losing 70% of its value in 4 years. There's another car where a single sensor failure leads to a $7,200 repair bill. And there's one that mechanics are now openly refusing to work on. These problems aren't rare. They're showing up in workshops every single week, and people are still buying these cars in 2026. 7. Chevrolet Bolt EV/EUV. Starting with number 7, a car involved in the largest EV recall in history, the Chevrolet Bolt EV and Bolt EUV. GM recalled roughly 140,000 of these for a battery defect that caused multiple documented fires, and the program cost the company nearly $2 billion. And here's the part most used buyers don't realize. Thousands of those cars are still out there with the recall work never completed. To be clear, I'm talking about the first-generation model that ended production in late 2023, not the all-new 2027 Bolt that just launched. The original is everywhere on the used market for under $15,000. And that price tag is exactly what makes it dangerous. The problem is the LG manufactured battery cells, which in rare cases can cause thermal runaway. GM's fix was replacing the entire battery module, but a lot of original owners either ignored the notice or traded in without flagging it. Those cars are now being resold 2 or 3 owners deep, and most buyers have no idea of the status. Pull the VIN and check with GM before you spend $1. If the module's been replaced, it's actually a solid little car. If it hasn't, you're buying a ticking problem. Beyond the battery, the drive unit on higher mileage examples develops a distinctive whine. The motor and reduction gearbox are an integrated assembly, so it's a full $6,500 swap, more than many of these cars are worth. And if the Bolt is the cheap used EV trap, the next car on this list is the luxury version of the same mistake. 6. Jaguar I-Pace. Number 6 is a car that was once a $70,000 luxury EV and now trades for under $20,000 on the used market, the Jaguar I-Pace. That's not a discount, that's a warning. Jaguar sold fewer than 70,000 of these globally in the 6 years it was on sale, and a significant chunk of those went to Waymo for their autonomous taxi fleet. Jaguar pulled the plug on production at the end of 2024 as part of a complete brand pivot, and with the factory doors closed on it permanently, this model is now effectively orphaned. That matters because the I-Pace has some genuinely expensive problems. The high-voltage battery management system has a well-documented defect that triggers unexpected power loss, and Jaguar issued multiple recalls tied to battery fire risk on specific build years. The LG Chem packs used in early models are now on a restricted supplier list, which means if yours fails, you're looking at $35,000 or more for a replacement on a car the market currently values at $20,000. Nobody does that repair, the car gets parted out. Beyond the battery, the 12-volt auxiliary system is its own nightmare. When the 12-volt dies, and on these cars it dies often, the I-Pace bricks itself completely. Owners can't unlock the doors, can't access the frunk, can't jump it without specialist tooling. We've had cars flatbedded in for what turned out to be a dead $150 battery, because reaching the terminals required partial disassembly. Add in onboard charger failures and module backorder times past 10 weeks, and you have a car that looks like a bargain on the listing page and becomes a liability the moment anything breaks. Quick pause before we get into the next 5, because the cars coming up include a couple that are going to seriously divide opinion, including the one at number 1 that mechanics will openly tell you they refuse to work on. If you're finding this useful, take a second to hit subscribe and leave a like. We break down the real-world ownership reality on every major EV, with no brand loyalty and no sponsorship bias. Just honest workshop-level analysis. Now, let's keep going. 5. Nissan Ariya. At number 5, the Nissan Ariya. This was supposed to be Nissan's big comeback in the EV space, and by almost every measurable standard, it's been one of the worst-launched electric vehicles of the modern era. Nissan delayed the launch by nearly 2 years, missed US delivery targets by over 90% in the first production year, and issued multiple stop sales across North America, Europe, and Japan for a laundry list of defects. When the cars finally did arrive, mechanics started seeing problems that had no business being in a brand new car from a legacy manufacturer. The headline failure is the front motor. A seal defect allows coolant to intrude into the motor housing, and when that happens, you're not repairing it. You're replacing the entire front drive unit for around $12,000. There are also documented brake system software bugs that required a full recall and high-voltage battery manufacturing defects tied to the Tochigi plant. Peak DC fast charging tops out around 130 kilowatts on paper, but in real-world conditions, the car rarely sustains that for more than a couple of minutes before thermal management throttles it back, which is a full generation behind what Hyundai and Kia are doing on the eGMP platform. The interior tech is where mechanics really lose patience. The haptic touch controls for climate and drive mode selection fail constantly, and the capacitive panels underneath the wood trim crack lose sensitivity and require full dashboard disassembly to replace. That's a $3,100 repair for what should be a $50 button. Nissan's dealer network has also been slow to train technicians on high-voltage work specific to this model, meaning many dealerships physically can't service them and have to ship them to regional centers. Weeks of downtime on a brand new car for something a competent EV shop would turn around in a day. If that kind of rushed launch sounds familiar, that's because the next car on this list made exactly the same mistake, just in a different language. 4. Volkswagen ID.4. At number 4, the Volkswagen ID.4. This one genuinely hurts to include, because on paper it should be a winner. Volkswagen engineering, the MEB platform, competitive pricing, everything that made VW a household name in gasoline cars. What actually shipped is something different. The ID.4 has been the subject of multiple major recalls, including one covering roughly 98,000 vehicles in North America for a rear motor pulse inverter defect that can cause sudden loss of propulsion while driving. And that's just the headline issue. The legacy software situation on 2021 through 2023 builds is the real ownership nightmare. These cars shipped with an infotainment platform that was fundamentally unfinished, and early owners became unpaid beta testers. We've seen head units brick themselves after botched software updates, requiring complete module replacement, not reflashes, full hardware swaps. VW has improved things significantly on newer builds through over-the-air updates, but the early cars are still out there on the used market, and they still carry those problems. If you're shopping a used ID.4, the model year matters enormously, and the gap between a 2021 and a 2024 is bigger than you'd expect for the same nameplate. On the mechanical side, VW's replacement parts for that inverter recall were back-ordered for nearly a year in North America, and I've personally seen owners sitting on loaner cars for 4 months waiting for a fix. DC fast charging is another pain point. Thermal management can't keep up during back-to-back sessions, and the car will aggressively throttle from 125 kilowatts down to 50 or less once the battery gets warm. For a car marketed as a road trip EV, that's a serious problem. Parts pricing is the final insult. A door handle module is north of $800, and a replacement charge port assembly runs over $2,400 before labor. You're in luxury car repair territory on a car that was supposed to be the people's electric Volkswagen. And speaking of luxury-priced repair bills, the next 3 cars on this list take that problem to an entirely new level. 3. Rivian R1T/R1S. Number 3 brings us to Rivian, the R1T pickup and R1S SUV. Rivian has one of the most passionate owner communities in the entire EV space, and I'm not taking anything away from what the company has built. But the first-generation trucks, built from 2022 through early 2024, have genuine problems that a lot of buyers are walking into blind. And those trucks are now flooding the used market at tempting discounts because the Gen 2 refresh has made them feel suddenly outdated. Here's some context that matters. Rivian has historically lost over $40,000 on every vehicle it sold, and a real chunk of that was warranty service. Now imagine being the next owner after the warranty runs out. The quad motor drive units on early Gen 1 trucks are the headline issue. There's a documented failure pattern where the rear motors develop bearing wear that leads to complete unit replacement. We're talking $12,000 per motor, and some trucks have needed multiple replacements before 60,000 miles. Rivian has been good about covering these under warranty, but once that warranty lapses, you're on the hook for what amounts to a used Honda Civic every time a motor goes. The wiring harness on early builds is another story. Ghost warnings, intermittent sensor failures, and in some cases, complete vehicle shutdowns requiring flatbed tows. Rivian rewrote the entire harness for Gen 2 specifically because of how bad this was, which is about as clear an admission as a manufacturer can make. The air suspension is the other expensive gotcha. Compressor failures around 40,000 miles are common enough that independent EV specialists now quote customers a preemptive replacement before it fails catastrophically. And long-term, there's the question of what happens in 5 or 7 years if the independent service ecosystem for these trucks never really develops. Unlike a Ford or a GM, there isn't a century of independent mechanics who know how to work on these. Speaking of which, the next truck on this list already proves how quickly the support picture can change. 2. Ford F-150 Lightning. At number 2, the Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford's electric vehicle division lost roughly $5 billion in 2024 alone, and the Lightning was the flagship that was supposed to justify all of it. Instead, Ford officially ended production in late 2025. But the reason this truck is on the list isn't just that it got canceled. It's that thousands of them are still sitting on dealer lots right now at heavy discounts, and the used market is about to get flooded. Prices look appealing. The numbers behind those prices do not. The part situation is the single biggest reason to be careful. Independent techs are already reporting 8 to 12-week waits for major components, and that window is going to get longer, not shorter, now that production has wound down. The high-voltage battery junction box has documented failure patterns that leave the truck completely undrivable, and replacement alone runs north of $4,000 before labor. The onboard charger module is another known weak point. It fails with little warning and takes out your ability to charge at all. And yes, the 12-volt battery dies prematurely because the DC to DC converter has a known software bug. That problem didn't get fixed before production ended, and there's no real indication it's going to get fixed now. The harder truth is that the Lightning was a great idea rushed to market to hit an announcement deadline, and Ford never fully engineered the long-term reliability case behind it. The trucks that shipped in the first 2 years are the most affected, and those are exactly the ones now being discounted on dealer lots and flipped into the used market. A cheap electric pickup from a manufacturer that just quit on it is not a bargain. It's a liability with a payment book attached. And speaking of electric trucks that mechanics don't want to touch, there's one truck on this list where the support picture isn't just bad. It's in a category all by itself. 1. Tesla Cybertruck, a vehicle that has been the subject of more than 8 major recalls in less than 2 years on the market. The Tesla Cybertruck. This is the truck I mentioned in the opening, the one mechanics are now openly refusing to work on. And that's not hyperbole. The 48-volt low-voltage architecture is the first mass production vehicle to move away from the 12-volt standard every other car in the world uses, which means the diagnostic equipment every independent EV shop already owns simply doesn't apply. The stainless steel body panels, marketed as the ultimate durability feature, are one of the biggest service headaches in the entire industry. Panel replacements run into 5 figures because Tesla has no aftermarket panel supply. Owners started reporting what they now call rust freckles, orange corrosion on supposedly stainless panels within months of delivery. And that's before we get to the recall list. Accelerator pedal trim trapping the pedal wide open, front trunk software causing the front to close on hands, inverter failures causing complete loss of drive, rear view camera delays exceeding federal requirements. Every one of these required a service visit. The steer-by-wire system is what I'd flag as the single biggest long-term concern. This is the first mass-produced truck with no mechanical link between the steering wheel and the front wheels. It's all electronic. When it works, it's remarkable. When the steering control module fails, and we've seen multiple cases now, the entire front end needs recalibration on proprietary Tesla equipment. There's no roadside fix. There's no independent diagnosis. You wait for Tesla, and Tesla service wait times in many regions are pushing past 12 weeks. Then there's the resale story, which is where the used market has quietly cast its vote. Foundation Series Cybertrucks that sold for over $100,000 at launch are now trading hands for $55,000 to $60,000. That's nearly half the value gone in under 2 years. Some 2-year-old examples are at 55% of original MSRP, the fastest depreciation curve of any Tesla ever sold. I've seen a lot of Teslas come through shops over the years, and the Model 3 and Model Y have genuinely matured into reasonable ownership propositions. The Cybertruck is different. This is where Tesla's engineering ambition outran its service reality, and the people paying for that gap are the owners. When mechanics across the country start turning a vehicle away, that's not a brand problem, that's a warning. Those are the 7, and if you sat with that list long enough, you'll notice the real story hiding inside it. Every car here has a 12-volt battery problem, Every car has parts availability issues, and everyone has depreciation numbers that should make any used buyer stop and think. The 70% value drop I mentioned at the start of this video wasn't an outlier. It's becoming the pattern. None of this means EVs are a bad idea. The Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6, Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, and the BMW i4 have all matured into genuinely solid ownership propositions. The takeaway isn't to avoid EVs, it's to buy the right one. Do your homework, check the recall history, and never buy on sticker price alone. I've got a video coming on the 7 EVs mechanics will actually recommend, so hit subscribe if you want to see it first. Drop a comment telling me which of today's picks surprised you most. When the people who fix these cars for a living start warning you away, that's the conversation worth listening to.